Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. We made it to the weekend. Don't it feel good? Today I have a big one that I want to get into with y'all. We just got through Yeezy Day. Like every Yeezy Day, there's, multiple pairs that in my head I think, man, I'd like to cop them. Last year was the Wave Runners. This year I really wanted the Turtledove so bad, but as luck would have it, I couldn't even enter for a pair. The Confirmed app was just being complete garbage for me, and I could get in, select my size, and then it said like server issues, but it was just a mess. While I was wrestling with it, trying to get into the queue and everything, my good buddy texted me and he said, I got a W. He ended up hitting for the Turtledoves in a size 13, and big shout out to him. He let me borrow his pair so I could make this review for y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get into these Turtledove 350s. You know, it's funny, as I was just doing that intro and saying get into the Turtledove 350s, it's hard for me not to say 350 V2s just because I've never owned a Yeezy 350. Everything that I've had is a 350 V2. I'm the first to admit I was a little late getting on the Yeezy hype train, but over the past couple of years, 350 V2s, 700s, and 700 V2s have become some of my favorite silhouettes. They're definitely my top 3 Yeezy silhouettes, but aside from that, they're just 3 of my favorite silhouettes out of all sneakers. I just really like them. I like how different they are from everything else. I was really hoping to hit on this pair, but anyhow, this is the one that started it all. We've got 350 on the top of the box. It says Boost on the side because, like the V2s, they do have full-length Boost. The tag reads Yeezy Boost 350, and the color is Turtledove. I believe is that blue-gray and then core white, maybe? Adidas always uses those weird abbreviations for colors, so apologies if I'm off a little bit on that. But I know Turtledove is the main color, but this is a size 13. I think when these originally released in 2015, they cost $200. On this drop, they were priced the same as standard 350 V2s, which I believe is $230. And then nobody really cares about that box. This is what we wanted to see. I like these a lot. I like them a whole lot. Now, when I was first looking at these, it didn't take me long to come to the conclusion that I prefer 350 V2s. I prefer the shape of them. One of the big differences is this midsole and outsole area. It's just shaped different. Like when you're looking down at them, on the 350 V2s, the midsole area comes out more. I don't know how to explain it, but I like the outline of the shoe a whole lot more because that midsole sticks out a whole lot further. You can definitely see where the 350 V2, that it definitely was just an update to this kind of midsole, but this midsole is a lot more straight down from the shoe. And I don't know if I'm articulating that well or not, but the 350 V2 kind of comes out and is more of like a bubble, whereas these just kind of come straight down. And another thing that I noticed right away, these remind me a lot more of like a clog, like those wooden Dutch shoes or whatever, just because the way that the front is, it like comes up to a point more, and it really overall kind of reminds me of a clog. And now me pointing out all these things, I'm not saying I don't like this shoe. Seeing this shoe in person makes me want this shoe even more. However, these are just things that I noticed that are way different than what I'm used to seeing because all I have is 350 V2s. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised about is this hit of suede on the inside of the shoe. I actually think that it looks a lot nicer in person than what it does in pictures. Like, whenever I would see images of these, I always kind of thought that that was a little bit odd. However, seeing them in person, I really like that accent. And I don't know if you can see, it says Yeezy in there. Well, it says YZY. But this is just a nice black or charcoal colored suede. It's a short hair, but it feels really nice to the touch. Very soft, very good quality. It's what you would expect on a pair of Yeezys. But another difference that I noticed is this outsole. Instead of being like two pieces and then having a lot of little holes cut out of the outsole, this one has a big window here where you can see the boost in the heel. But then in the front, you can only see little pieces of that boost peeking through. I've heard some people say they prefer the feeling of 350s to 350 V2s, but I think I've heard more commonly people say that they think that 350 V2s are more comfortable. I think that these have a more stiff cushioning underfoot compared to the V2, because I don't think that this boost is able to expand the same way that it does in 350 V2s. But that's just me kind of guessing. Like I said, I have never had 350s on foot, and this is actually the first time that I've ever had Turtledoves in hand, to be honest. But I think they're beautiful shoes. I do prefer the 350 V2 silhouette to these though. Now, what I really like about these is just the history of them. You know, in 2015, Yeezy dropped these with Adidas, and he really changed the sneaker game as we know it. He had just left Nike because Nike wasn't really giving him the creative freedom that he wanted, and he assembled a team of all-star designers, including Salehi, including freaking Virgil, and they all had a part in designing this shoe. And while I prefer the 350 V2, without the 350 V1, there wouldn't be a 350 V2. Without this pair of Turtledoves, I wouldn't have any of my 350 V2s in my closet, you know? So I would like to have these just because of how significant of an impact they had on sneaker culture and just how they changed the sneaker game, you know, altogether back in 2015. I think these were $200, and at the time, these kind of made it acceptable for nice sneakers to be $200. Getting into the review, it's a nice cream color. It says Adidas here at the midfoot, Boost there at the heel, and it's just a different tread pattern, and you don't have all those windows like I said. And also this rubber, instead of being two pieces and kind of fitting inside of what the rubber on the midsole is, this is kind of all just one piece from the outsole up to the midsole. It has these ribs, but it kind of comes straight down compared to going out like the 350 V2 does. And I definitely prefer the look of the 350 V2 midsole, outsole, whatever you want to call it. But then coming up from that, we've got this nice knit. This doesn't feel quite as stretchy and as soft as what most of my 350 V2s does, but you can definitely see how this was what the 350 V2 was built off of. It's just a nice knit material. It's kind of like a tan or a khaki color, and then a lot of like black speckled in through it, but it's real nice looking. I like this seam going up the toe. We see that a lot on a whole bunch of different 350 V2s still to this day. But this knit is a lot more uniform, whereas a lot of the 350 V2s will have different texture throughout because the knit changes as it goes back. As I mentioned before, one of the other big differences on these is just this suede that we have here. It's like a half circle, but it says YZY for Yeezy. And you can see a lot of color change with direction. I don't know if that's picking it up on camera, but from where I'm sitting, I can see it pretty easily. But it really feels nice. It's got a real nice feel, and you can tell by looking at it, it's good quality. I like that accent. That's definitely something different from any of the Yeezys that I have. We see that this Turtledove pair does have this heel tab, like a lot of 350 V2s does. This kind of feels like a more heavy-duty canvas than what I have on my 350 V2s that have them. Some people prefer the heel tab, some people don't like the heel tab. I'm indifferent, I've said that before, but you can see it's like a cream color, and then it's got red stitching going down the middle of it. The piping going along the collar of the shoe up here by the ankle, it's more that cream color that matches the midsole and then this heel tab. It looks like around the sock liner of the inside of the shoe, we have like a black felt type material. At first when I saw it, I thought maybe it was that same suede that we have for this accent, but it's definitely just like a felt type material. It doesn't really feel super high end or anything, but there is padding inside of that. So I'd imagine that does help with comfort. And on the insole, it says Adidas and Yeezy. It's kind of hard to see because it's the same color as that insole, but it's there. And then these laces are rope style laces that are the same colors that we have on the shoe. And I think they're pretty dope looking. So after seeing these, I definitely know that I prefer the 350 V2. However, that being said, this is the one that started it all. This is the first 350 that there was. There were just giant designers that helped to make this shoe with Yeezy, like Virgil, Salehi, and a handful of others. I think that this shoe is as significant as like the Jordan 1. And I know people might cringe at that. However, I think for changing the sneaker industry altogether and just for how it changed sneaker culture and fashion altogether, I think that this shoe is such a significant shoe. And although I don't like the 350 as much as what I like the V2, I really want a pair of these, so I'll be watching resale prices like a hawk. Right now, I think they're still sitting at around like $500 or something like that. I think there was a lot of pairs of them, and that almost makes it hurt even more that I couldn't get a pair. It just wasn't meant to be for me. But anyhow, I will be watching resale prices. If they drop, I'll pick myself up a pair. If not, I'm just going to have to enjoy looking at Silent Z's pair for now. But anyhow, let me know if you hit on these. Let me know if you hit for anything on Yeezy Day. And let me know what you think about these. I'd be interested in hearing. But you all have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.